What's up everyone? Today I want to talk about the major factions in the Tainted Grail, the Fall of Avalon, and how to join them all. So if you didn't already know, there are 3 major factions, and they can all be started in the first zone, the Horns of the South. Each of these factions then progress into the second zone. You do some quests in the second zone, they then progress into the third zone. They have like unique rewards, they have their own endings, and there's some really cool stuff to do along the way. On top of this, you can be in all 3 of the factions at the same time. They're not like independent. So I just wanted to make this to show where to pick up these initial quests so that you don't miss it, because these are a really cool part of the game and they're something I really enjoyed. So yeah, let's get into it. There are 3 guilds. I won't cover any spoilers of, how they end up or, the big things that happen in them. But there are 3 guilds, and they are the Children of Morrigan, which is kind of a dark, secretive guild that acts from the shadows. There are the Stonewardens, which are a kind of like a crafting guild of blacksmiths with their own like secret techniques. And then there are the Alchemist Guild, which are a group of people that use potions and nature to do certain things. And that's all I can say about them without really spoiling the big stuff that happens in them. So let's get into it. Okay, so first up, let's talk the Children of Morrigan. So if you go on your map and you go to this part of the map here, right here in this little corner. So if we look at the entrance of like the main city, if you come out of the main city, follow the big road all the way to the top, and then where this big river runs through, it's on the right in this little corner here. There's a small bandit camp, and in the bandit camp, there's a couple of people. Once you get there, you will clear your way to a cage, and there is a person in the cage. What you want to do, clear all the mobs, go talk to the guy in the cage, and you will say, please help me. Go around to the back of where they were, and there's a small chest kind of like directly looking at the cage. Loot the chest, and in it, there's the key. Go back to the cage, open the cage, talk to the guy, and there will be a bit of dialogue, and you won't really know what's going on, but offer to help him and go to the meeting. And this will lead you to, he calls them the Crows, and that's kind of like one of their nicknames, one of the things that people talk about. So the quest he gives you is called Spread Your Wings, and if you go to this meeting, you can then choose to side with the Crows, these Children of Morrigan, and join them in their pursuit that you don't really know anything about. It kind of leaves it very open that you don't really know what you're joining or what you're getting involved with. And I will say, this is a very, very interesting one. It's probably the one I enjoyed the most, so I definitely recommend trying it out. Okay, next up is the Alchemist Guild, or the Alchemists. And I will say, if you are not planning on crafting and you don't really want to do any alchemy, don't let that put you off. This isn't just a bunch of potion makers. This is a bunch of, think more like druids. Think more about a bunch of people that use nature and that look into animals and like beasts. Think more like that. Like, think more researchers and druids, rather than, I'm just joining a potion making guild. This is a pretty interesting one. So to join this, you want to go to the first town. So, the Horns of the South, the main town where you get all your quests, where you get your bounties, that kind of place in the bottom left of the map. Go in there, head all the way to the back near where the stash is. And you want to go to the very back rooms, and there's a bunch of doors of like the people's houses. And you want to go into Jan Heber's room. I think that's Jan Heber. That's the druid or the alchemist of this zone. So you want to go in there, talk to him, and he will give you the intro quest, the lenses and the eye of the sage. So that will then lead you on the way to starting that journey. And like I say, with these, once you have the first quest, they'll kind of then give you the second and give you the third, and then they'll say, continue this in the next zone. So once you got the first one, you're good to go. But yeah, that's how you start the alchemist quest chain. Okay, so now for the final one, the Stonewardens. So the Stonewardens start in the very northeast of the first map, the Horns of the South, the very northeast of that map. The main quest will take you here eventually, but this is where you want to start it. So you come up to this little area here, and you go in, and there's a camp of people. Now in this camp, you're looking for a guy called Ugwa. Uga. I don't know how to say his name. Ugwa. And this guy is going to give you a quest called the Echoes in Stone. So all you want to do is talk to him, and it's not obvious that he has a quest. You might have to like do the initial thing of getting in here and helping them out for the first, 30 seconds, but eventually just talk to him and keep looking at the dialogue. It won't be obvious. It won't be like orange, like he's got a quest, but just keep talking to him, and you can ask him for more information, and eventually you can talk about the Stonewardens. When you talk about the Stonewardens, you can ask to join. He'll kind of laugh at you and say no, and then he'll give you like a basic test, to go and craft a little relic. So just go to a crafting table and craft this relic. It's fairly okay to get going. It's not, I think I did this with a very, very low crafting level. I think at the time of this save, my crafting level is like 23. So you're completely fine. You're completely fine here, but you need to craft this relic, give it back to him, and then he will put in a good word for the Stonewardens, which basically means he'll tell you where to go to find the Stonewardens. When you get there, you can say, I was recommended by this guy, let me in. And that's how you then join them or join the next part of their quest chain. So yeah, that's the third major faction. So that is all of the main factions in Tainted Grail, the Fall of Avalon. So hopefully that helps you get started. And these are pretty fun. And once you've got the first quest, it will just trickle you through all the way to the end game and, all the way to the final quest. So yeah, hopefully that helps. There are some other, not main factions, but smaller factions that are easy to miss that I do quickly want to talk about. So these are also pretty fun, but they don't carry on through every single act like the others do, like through every map. So one is if you go in the first zone to the Horns of the South, and you go, straight north of the village up to this bridge, the bridge on the west side. If you come to this bridge, you'll notice a guy here with a, I guess like a beehive kind of face, Brock. Now, if you talk to Brock and you just do the intro, chatting to Brock, and then once you've done that, you can then cross the bridge. And if you cross the bridge and just keep heading straight north. So as you come north to this point here, just north of the bridge, there's a fast travel spot here. You come up to this big tree straight in front of it, and just keep walking. And what's gonna happen is you're gonna get the bees. So here we go. So just here you see these bees. Kind of fight these bees off as best you can. Much easier if you've got some sort of magic, but yeah, take out the bees like that, and that will trigger, another conversation. And this leads to a really interesting kind of side quest. After you've met him, he's going to give you the confrontation looks like hope, and this is gonna take you up here in the top left. Confrontation looks like hope, and that's going to lead you to the hive, or the queen bee. And this is a really interesting side quest. I definitely recommend going and checking it out at the very least. Whether you want to join the queen bee and do that quest chain is up to you, but I found it very, very cool. So yeah, that's up there. Some good rewards there as well. Okay, now the next faction kind of quest that I want to talk about, which is involved in joining some force, is in Acts, the second zone. In the second zone, once you get to the main town here, which is like the big town in the middle, similar to the first map, how it's like a big main town, you want to go to it, and in this very corner here, in this like section near the bridge, you have a hospital. Now you want to go into this hospital here, and as you go in, there is kind of like a patient in the back corner of the room. So if you come into here and you talk to this guy here, he's the only guy who looks a little bit different to the others. He's in like armor with a mark on his chest, like a tabard. So talk to him, Ignatius, and that will give you the quest here called Herende Ac Cadaver. Now, this quest here is very, very, very important. I don't want to ruin why, but it will unlock a system in the game that you really will want to see. I'm not going to say whether it's a good or bad playthrough kind of quest. Up to you if you want to take it on. Once you start it, you will see kind of like where it's going. Up to you if you want to take it. But it's definitely something you want to check out on one of your playthroughs, because what it unlocks is really, really cool. But yeah, that's kind of all the main side quests, all the main factions that like aren't part of the main story, but are more than just like, the side quest, go defeat these wolves. They're significantly more than a side quest, but they're not the main quest. So I hope this helps. There's probably a lot more things in the game. This is a massive game that it's easy to miss stuff. So if you have anything else like really big that you think people should go and do, some like cool side quest early on or something, let people know. There's some very interesting stuff later on. There's some huge things in the late game and like the third zone, stuff like that. I don't want to ruin that. If you're just starting the game, I don't want to ruin it by saying, go to the final zone and take this for this cool reward. So I do hope this helps. If you like this style of video, do consider subscribing to the channel. But that's it from me. Thank you for watching. Take care. I'll catch you in the next one.